Welcome to the most forward-thinking, inspirational podcast on the planet. Prepare to reevaluate everything you've been taught and get ready to launch your mind into an entirely new reality. If you've always felt there had to be more to life, more to existence, then you're listening to the right podcast. Get comfortable, pour yourself a drink, sit back, and let your host, Adam R. Walton, expand your horizons. This is going to be good. This is going to be fun. This is going to be mind-bending. Time to think.
And here we go.
Tuesday, August 20th. And I did it again. I had to double check, but I got it. I got the date. So, fun story, good story, standard story that I wanted to talk about. Stories. Everything we take in is simply a story. It is an idea. It's something that we enjoy. It's something that we create as our own. Our stories create our lives. And what I mean by that is you can either believe in science, you can believe in Christianity, you can believe in anything. And you can believe in whatever you want to believe in. And there are people that say, well, man, science is fact. And religion is a story. They'll say, how can I trust a book that was written by man about gods? I can't trust. This was written by man. But every single textbook is written by man. And they'll say, science has factual evidence. I don't know. I've come across so much quote-unquote factual evidence that's a lie. Now, the funny thing about this is, regardless of anything that anyone wants to believe, what we believe is what curtails the story. And what I mean by that is, if you believe in science, then that's your choice. If you believe in religion, then that's your choice. Both of them were stories told to you that you chose to accept as reality and move forward with. Fighting over whose God is what because of whatever story we personally believe? This is ego. This isn't a religious battle. This is a battle of feelings. Feelings getting hurt. So, I say all this, and I use this as my intro because as I'm rolling into, I came across this image, and I absolutely adored it. The image itself is quite foolish. It's a jester spinning a ball or whatever. But the message was sound. And I was a huge fan of it, and I wanted to share. The sage battles his own ego, and the fool battles everyone else's. Now, if we think about that for a quick second and apply it to life, I guess, or scenarios or situations, most of depression comes from a disconnect between what we think we are / deserve versus what we get / receive, which again is ego. People don't understand that depression is a powerful scenario. It's a powerful place to be. It wreaks havoc on getting up in the morning. If you are depressed, typically it's one thing leads to another, leads to almost a total chaotic breakdown. But here we think about the story that we're told. Here, in this scenario, with regards to depression, our ego says we didn't get what we wanted this one time, which parlays out into another time, which parlays out into a story that we were told about a medication that we needed to take to get rid of the depression. So we take the medication, and then the medication wreaks havoc on the rest of our system. So the rest of our system is a little bit shutting down. So we question the rest of our system, and then run-on sentence, more chaos comes from the scenario that we just put into ourselves. So what is depression? Depression, oh my gosh, we could go on for hours and hours and hours, but we're going to keep it short today. It's an opportunity for you to address yourself. Depression in the mindset, depression in the way you think, depression in the way you act, depression in any possibility is an opportunity for you to observe yourself in the state in which you are in. Completely remove yourself from everything you've ever been told about depression. Completely remove yourself from everything you've ever been told about everything. Medications and this and these things are supposed to work and those things are supposed to work, because every single thing you've ever been told about absolutely everything is a story. And the story that you choose to believe is the one that you're going to follow. So if you need to cure your depression by stepping outside and soaking up some vitamin D, great. If you're already outside and you want to complain about it, great. You'll find a lot of people have a lot of things to say about their scenario. If you offer them help or assistance or anything to anyone that's in a depressed mind, they will defend their depression. Because that's almost what the disease and almost what the mentality is asking of you. To live in it. To live in the mentality and the mindset. To try stronger meds. To try this, to try that. And nothing anyone can say to a depressed person is going to help. And there is a English language barrier breakdown where two words... depressed and depression are alluded to mean to sound the same. Now, you can be depressed that your team is out of the playoffs. That's depressing. But living with depression is a whole can of worms. It comes, it goes, and most people do battle with it. Most people don't talk about it. 90% of people that have depression don't understand that they can go out and reach out to people. We were taught in the 80s that depression is a weakness. Suck it up, especially as men. Men weren't allowed to talk about any of this stuff. So if you weren't anything but a glorified mechanic, car flipping over, lumberjack, big bearded burly man that took care of everything and stood in a stoic stance, you weren't a full man. And that's how we grew up. That's how children of the 70s and 80s grew up. And everything I just told you is an excuse as to why you can carry on your depression. Because it's a story. And if you like that story, then you're going to wallow in the depression just a little bit longer. The most amazing thing about the human mind is you will do battle with everything. But it's only ever you. You're at war with yourself. You are at war with yourself. What does that mean? Well, if you ask me, you've got to start answering some new questions. Who am I and who is myself? And why are we fighting? What do I believe? Why do I believe what I believe? Who told me what I believe? Do I believe that it's my idea? Do I know? Do I understand? Do I comprehend that it was planted inside my head? Who am I? Who am I at war with if it's just me? And if it's not just me, let me start pointing the fingers. Who can I blame for my depression? Ooh, that's a tough one. Who do you want to blame? Who are you going to learn the most from blaming? Who is going to address your depression better than you? There's no one. There's no one out there that's going to do anything for you other than you. And if you tell yourself you need meds to do it, then that's what you're going to do. Now, I must state at the 8:51 mark that I am not a doctor. If you are heavily medicated, I don't know the entire story. I do know what worked for me. I do know where I stood, and I do know that my whole premise of everything that I do is really my best effort to leave this world a little bit better of a place than it was when I got here. And that is a story that I tell myself. Who knows why I do what I do? I mean, I can tell myself that story time and time again, and I've created my purpose. But I'll tell you, when I was at my absolute most depressed throughout the course of my life, to a story and a tune in which I firmly believe that I will suffer from depression for the rest of my life, I take a deep breath and I say, I no longer suffer from depression. I live with depression. And I work with it. And I don't suffer. It is a part of me. Or is that just a story I tell myself? Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's got an opinion. I used to listen to people's opinions. I used to debate everybody, but you can't debate everybody because who knows who these people are that are coming at you. And typically it's the loudest voice in the room, the most arrogant, uneducated person that's got the most to say. And it's the person that's filled with hate that's going to come at you the most. And it's a bit ridiculous that society is such a predictable mess. Individuals, you, the one person right now that I'm speaking to, hello, I'm talking to you. You're all right. You are all right. But you know you're all right. And you know that I'm talking to you. But society as a whole is a bit of a cesspool. Man, that's a whole other topic in and of itself. But as we stand here right now, we have these stories. We have these stories that we've told ourselves about absolutely everything that we know. And we cling to these stories, and we hold on to these stories, and we believe these stories to be fact. But I can assure you that if you take a quick look, not at the society or the situation that we're in, but if you take a quick look at your ego, who you're at war with, why you're at war, what the topic of conversation is in which you're warring, you understand that it comes down to your ego. Depression is, to me, the biggest trigger of depression, no matter anything, sunlight, diet, exercise, the biggest trigger of depression is lack of purpose. If you don't have a purpose, or if your purpose is not fulfilling your soul, your essence, your core, who you are, then you're going to be depressed. And that is inside your head. It's all inside your head. All you've ever had is inside your head. Everything you've ever thought you thought was you thinking. It's all inside your head. And that is an absolute fact. The sage battles his own ego, and the fool battles everyone else's. I have come to a place in my life where I'm doing the most work on my comprehension of comprehension. It reminds me of a philosophy of philosophy. I think it's fantastic. The philosophy of philosophy. Pay attention to yourself. Again, the sage battles his own ego. The fool battles everyone else's. I spent so much of my time, I spent so much of my life proving my point to other people. My point? Who am I? I'm not here to prove anything. The shit that I know, how do I know what I know? In what world would my brain say that you need to see things the way I see things, as opposed to, oh, I'm interested in how you see things. Let's possibly connect on that. Let's see if we can both mutually grow from this experience. The minute you stop doing battle with everything and everyone else around you is the minute that you can go to town on yourself. And that sounded kinky. Wasn't supposed to. Considering the fact that you are your own worst enemy, and that depression starts inside your mind, and that your ego is riddled with all these ideologies, and every single story you've ever been told in your entire life is more than likely bullshit, Your answers lie inside. Your answers lie within. Your answers lie inside your mind, inside your ability, inside your desire, inside what you choose you want to believe them to be. And that's huge. That's absolutely huge. And when you can grab onto that, and when you can comprehend that it's you, that you don't have to impress anybody else, that you don't have to convince anybody else of anything, that you simply need to do for you what is going to be best for you. And a lot of that has to do with helping other people. A lot of that has to do with all kinds of other stuff, because there are people all over the world that are destined to do all kinds of different things. I know that I don't have it in me to be a ruthless, cutthroat, CEO of some major corporation that's going to work everyone through Christmas, and he's going to push the company to the bottom line, and he's going to be pulling in billions of dollars a year with pure ruthless aggression. That's not in my character. But those people need to exist, because if they didn't, then the world would be different, and things would be not what they are now. And our ability to reflect upon what things are would be different and altered and changed. Everything needs to happen exactly the way it's happening for us to perceive everything the way it's happening, because it is all, again, for us inside our head. It's all for us. Every ounce of everything that you've encountered is here for you. You're not here to be depressed. You're not here to do anything other than grow and spiritually connect and refine yourself and perfect yourself and become better than you were yesterday and learn from your mistakes and grow and prosper. Anything short of that is a story that you believe and allow to affect you. Now, depression is absolutely massive. It's massive, it's everywhere, and it's all encompassing to a lot of people. So I don't take that topic lightly as I do talk about it, and I do kind of add jovialness to it. It's massive. But what do we really know about it? And why does it exist if we have the choice? Don't tell me we don't have the choice. I've lived through both sides of it, drastically both sides. Luckily, I lived through it. I don't believe the stories that they tell us. I don't believe the stories that I believe. I don't believe the stories that I believe anymore. Because where have they gotten me? And where have your stories gotten you? I was watching this clip on, it was Gary Vee, and he had me laughing. He's talking about $5 Starbucks or whatever. He's like, you're an asshole if you're out there, complaining about being broke and you're buying $5 Starbucks. And you're depressed about being broke, and you're crying over a $5, $6 Starbucks. Coffee's $1. Make it at home for cheap. If you've got all the money in the world, who cares? Buy the $8 Starbucks. Who cares? But if you're miserable, don't buy the coffee. Don't spend the $5 and then complain about being broke. And when I say why I brought that up is because if you're super happy with your life, why are you listening to my podcast? So the things that I say are designed to help the people that are listening. And if you're wicked stoked and you're just a fan and you just love the sound of my amazing voice, great. Welcome to the show. Have an opinion. Drop me a line. Adam at the Mental Mastery Alliance. Info at the Mental Mastery Alliance. Connect with us. I'm here. I want to talk. And like I said before, I can't allow myself to be influenced by everything. I pulled comments off virtually everything because it's amazing. It's amazing how much hate society, not individuals, but there are individuals in society, but it's amazing how much society makes you want to hate. People will comment bullshit on positivity because they want to get a few likes. They want to express their sarcasm. They want the world to know that it's not how it works because that's the story that they believe. I don't even take social media with me when I leave the house anymore. Everything has been cut. All my social media, all that stuff that used to be of the utmost importance while I was brand creating, it's done. It's when I'm at the office, when I'm in the house, I can check it. When I'm out on the road, my phone is as clean as a whistle. I pay attention to my family. I pay attention to where I'm at. I pay attention to the meal I'm having. I'm not Instagramming the meal. I'd have a flip phone if I could, but I still use Uber. But boy, oh boy, would I love a flip phone. Couple of T9 texts. Oh, it takes me 12 hours to fire off 140 characters. You guys remember that? We got 140 characters in our text messages back in the day. And we had to T9 dial it. And that was fun. And that's not a story, that's a memory. But along that vein, be careful what memories become stories, because you're never remembering the incident. You're always remembering the last time you remembered it. So I'm going to cut this off right now. It is 8 o'clock, and I had a few things I wanted to get done. I just wanted to see if I could get one in here quick. I wasn't actually expecting it to go 20 minutes. I thought maybe 10. But I tend to ramble, and I should know that once I get started, I don't stop. So to anyone that I offended in this episode, that's a shame. And to anyone that benefited from this, fantastic. Again, drop me a line. If you have anything you want to talk about when it comes to depression, I will make time for you. You are important. You can check us out, Instagram.com/The Mental Mastery Alliance. Info at The Mental Mastery Alliance. Adam at The Mental Mastery Alliance. If you want to get directly through to me, shoot me a line. I am here to help. I want to help. And in the infamous words of Red Green, keep your stick on the ice.
Thank you for listening to today's Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Let the team know you're listening by using the hashtag MMA and Mental Mastery Alliance. Want more motivation? Be sure to follow online on Instagram at Mental Mastery Alliance and on Facebook at Mental Mastery Alliance. And remember, your perception creates your reality. Make it a great day.
You got it, Pontiac.